Now, in an effort to kind of minimize the amount of time that you need to kind of jump into these things and maximize what can be gained, I've put together this quick walkthrough of the three different modeling techniques, and where I've identified the benefit proposition for each of the three, and then given visual examples of each of those. So let's run through this rather quickly. All right, let's go through the first one, the complexity modeling. All right, well, what it happens here, you identify the problem type, and the model will suggest a solution type, right? Typically, 85% of the problems are common and complicated, but the difference makers and the differentiators are in the 15% of complex and chaotic. So that's just something to remember as you look at the model. Right? The model shows that basically that the common and complicated are dealt with the idea of one right best practice solution. In the complicated, it's best practice within the context. A, the complex tend to be best practice pattern solutions, and you have to use methodology because it's a pattern, and there is one best practice pattern normally for the complex problems, but it's identifying the right pattern and finding that pattern and then applying it that makes it more difficult. And again, because the complex systems are adaptive systems, it tends to be something that is moving. However, with the chaotic, it's even different. The chaotic is just what works. You may solve a chaotic problem one time, and the chaotic problem, as it changes so radically that you may have to go and try a different solution again. The advantage with if you identify that a problem is chaotic, and you say, okay, the solution you're going to do is a what works solution, you don't institutionalize that solution. You don't build you don't do what we see sometimes in congressional committees where they put together this massive solution for a problem that's really chaotic and has to be solved quickly because it's going to change and you're going to need a different solution in either a short or long period of time. So anyway, that's the kind of the visual model for the complexity. When we get into multidimensional modeling, this kind of challenges the common practice of focusing on duality and opposites. It captures the complexity of multidimensional issues, and it resonates with contemporary thinking that we have about political, social, economic, and scientific problems. The visual for that is that we're going to move away from these black and white mind-body dualism and where things are false and true, and look at more things along the kind of a line there. We have two big modeling techniques that you use for multidimensionals. One is a cube, and the advantage to the cube is that you never have any one side that is autonomous, that is just by itself. So you can't have just emotion, you can't have just thought, you can't have just flesh. In the cognitive world, all three are there. They're there maybe at different priorities, at different levels, different thicknesses, if you will, but they're all there. But then you can also design it as you may find that you really do need the autonomous thing. So it becomes a what we would call Venn diagram, which is the third one there. And that's the example there might be democracy, capitalism, and humanism, where you bring the three together. Would be like Habermas's picture of the way that he's identified the way the political system should be organized. And so democracy may have things that it does all in of itself autonomously. Capitalism may have autonomous events and activities that it performs. And humanism may have the same, but they cross, and they cross. Democracy crosses capitalism, humanism crosses democracy. So you have all those options. Number seven, the option in the middle there is very similar to our cube. So where all three are acting all together. So that's how you would use multidimensional modeling, and those are kind of the examples that you would use it for. Um, the last one we're going to talk about barriers and change modeling. This identifies common patterns for political, social, economic, and scientific problems, which was a real kind of something that was discovered that we found to be very unusual and different. Was that these problems when you get into the common patterns, no matter what problem type, the patterns are very similar. And we'll go through that in a minute. I'll show you an example. And the thing is here that you identify the speed and or performance criteria that you want, and the model will present the suggested change program type and the associated obstacles. So a visual example of that is that if you identify that as the performance goes up, you see that you have continuous improvement programs. So but however, you can actually do a continuous improvement program without spending any money, right? You spend some money if you're going to do a process improvement program, and if you're going to actually generate a new process, then you're probably going to have to break through the vested interest. The the point here, though, is that those are not. You don't say I'm going to do a new process. You don't say I'm going to do continuous improvement. What you say is what performance do you want? I want a radical new performance, an 8x performance. If that's what I say, then I'm going to have to generate a new process. I'm going to have to break through vested interest, and I'm going to have to spend money. So all of those things are. So basically, you focus on the performance, or in some cases the speed. If I have to have it tomorrow or I have to have it within a week, then the speed may challenge what you can do. You can't do a continuous improvement program and have it deliver something to you within a short period of time. So the idea here again is we get these barriers and change modeling. This is the picture. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call or email me or respond to the YouTube, and we'll see what happens. But anyway, that's kind of the three modeling techniques. Later on, I'll provide a little more detail about each one for anybody that expresses an interest. Thank you.